markets right now, with this debt ceiling stuff, we're just kind of bleeding out here. This type of scenarios happen like every year since I can remember. I wouldn't read too much into it. Right now, the price action is weak. We really could use a dump anyways. So like having this kind of action is probably really good. It's going to reset a lot of charts. You're seeing a lot of like growth charts and momentum charts, like starting to retrace right back to like your 200-day moving averages. Overall, like that's something you want to see. Like when you have stocks that haven't tested their 200-day moving average since the coronavirus, that's really a matter of having some extended charts. And this is going to be a really nice reset on a lot of names, especially look, if you missed a good chunk of like some of these hot names over the last couple of years, this is going to give you a chance to kind of get a reset into some good prices. And the market's going to probably bleed out till this, situation resolves itself, but it always usually does, right? Like there's always a debt ceiling debate and stuff like that. And the market kind of always does this. In reality, people are looking probably for a reason to sell off anyways. And so this kind of thing was just due regardless of, the news flow that's happening. And you can kind of see it over the, last couple months anyways, with market breadth being so nasty, right? The number of breakouts, first breakdowns, was really kind of declining for a long time. So this is your percentage stocks over your 200-day moving average, right? You've been declining for like a long time. The good thing is it's a tradable market. Like, you saw even yesterday, like there was a lot of like kind of speculative action going in the market. So even though it was a little bit slow on the large cap side, unless you're shorting, there was all sorts of action happening on the small cap side too. So there is good tradable action, both long and short side. It's just, this is going to happen for a little bit, but let's take a look at the watch list. Let's go to some earnings plays, and then we'll kind of go into kind of our regular game plan and see what the heck is going on here. Good. Hold on here. Yeah, if anybody needs these, if anybody's new to the chat room, you guys need any of these layouts, just let me know. Good. Yeah, this Palt is a pump and dump. You got to probably leave that bad boy alone. See this RGC? I don't like trading these kind of names. Like if it spikes up that much in the open and then just completely rolls over pre-market, like there's really nothing to do over there, right? So I probably leave that alone. It may be in play, but I think this is probably going to have a big spread on it, and if you got to really measure, like if you trade those kind of stocks real well, it's going to have, right now, the spread is 40 cents, probably at times it's going to be $1. Probably pass on that. OG, this has got a breakout over here. It might be a little bit low in liquidity. This might be something you kind of check back in and, see if anything's going on, but that's not really, that's not really anything, I don't think. PRGO, company agrees to settle Irish tax dispute. You know what? Those kind of things actually can work. I would actually add that to the list. You got a breakout that's like developing over here. If this thing holds and starts to play around, like we might be able to actually roll with that. AMTX. This looks like it's just kind of one candle of glory. Pass for now. DATS. This was a reversal candle on DATS. Probably the first big dip will get bought up. But at this point, like you can't really do much with this. It was a really nice run. I underestimated this stock a little bit. I didn't see this run yesterday coming at all. I think it's done for now. Chart still got momentum, but it's going to need a bigger dip. Probably leave that alone for a couple days. Dolomite, nah. Spaceballs. Vernon Galactic says clear to flies. FAA inquiry wraps. It's got a big base here. Like it's kind of stuck under resistance, but if it starts to clear, these MAs that start to push its way back, that actually might be something. It got dumped because it got dumped over here when that inquiry came. You might see it start to return to that. Plus, with kind of this speculative action that's been happening in the markets the last couple of days, right? You're seeing all these kind of turds fly around. That might be a good time to get, into the turd life. Look at this. These guys probably needed to raise a lot of money. Selling off one of their plants, they actually might give it a little bit of juice. You've got a chart breakout here. It's got 400,000 volume. Like that's probably, hey Duncan, what's going on, baby? That's probably not too bad. SLI turd. Let's add that ride. KPLT turd. Mara turd. These Bitcoin stocks are almost untradeable now. Spur. So this is like, okay, breakout, pull back. That might be something later, but like that's an illiquid piece of shit. So you probably got to stay away from it. See, all these charts are broken. Now let's look on the downside, see if there's any juice. So there's BBU at Bed Bath Beyond had their earnings out. They really got pummeled here. This is probably something like you can't chase a stock like this down 30%. But if this thing ends up squeezing, we can definitely play this for like a late day fade. So what I mean by that is like oftentimes when these like kind of bigger names, they have earnings out. If they gap down too much, there's not much you can do with it. But at some point in the day, it'll start to squeeze. And then you can kind of play for that late day fade as it starts to kind of like round and roll over. Marcos, it's probably a question for the CEO. We'll just give a call. I didn't look at the numbers though. EEIQ, jump. Coles. Double downgrades. Damn. See, this is a KSS, huh? This is actually a pretty big breakdown over here. Retail stocks stink to trade, but in general, like this one actually may get a little bit of juice. It looks like it was just on a downgrade, but sometimes these downgrades, if you get a double, you get a big level. Like this is a rollover chart anyways now. You may actually have a little bit of juice on this. And frankly, in this market environment where the market's kind of rolling over a little bit, this actually could work. Let's put that on the watch list too. I like that more than the other one. CarMax, drop for this might be another one too. Like it's right on support. It'd have to kind of break back under this 133s. But like that's got a good look to it. Let's add that. You know what? Right, the money's been on the short side anyways right now, so this is good. We need a couple shorties. All right. Let's cross back into this and get rid of some of this fluff from yesterday. All right. So we got Lucid. This is a really good looking chart. I mean, you can see we had pretty much like a little bit of we had a trend day in the morning and then we just ramped around. I think as long as you kind of hold yesterday's gap, this is going to be pretty good. Let's add that to the list. We got PRGO, we got Spaceballs, we got CarMax, we got Ride, we got BBY, KSS. All right. I don't know if any of those are like a grade A gapper right now. I wouldn't call any of those an A-level setup, but those are good. Jason, most of the time I'm just like E-Trade. They have almost most of the stuff. I don't really short penny stocks and those kind of hard to find ones. So I've never had any problem with low case, but I don't really do any of the specialty stuff. Good. Yeah, so now let's take a look at the regular watch list. I do think this AMC, we can keep shorting this. All these pops are faded off. I mean, this thing is probably coming back into the 30 support, maybe even down to the 200 SMA. We want to keep shorting all these pops. Let me see, Armand. Yeah, TDOC is like a big breakdown here too. Looks like a bleeder. You can see yesterday you had a big trend day on this. I think this is a candidate for a green to red today. Good. China names are all bleeding off slowly too. So if the market starts to roll, we could definitely play these kind of China names. They all show bear flag. Good. Now on the bounce side, like if we need some bounce life, right? We've got a firm on the 20 SMA. We could try to bounce this bad boy. Then we've got go-go. Go-go had an inside day yesterday. So after that big run, we had a rest day yesterday. You didn't do a morning push and a red to green on it, but then it's still chilled around. So it's considered inside day. If this takes out, right, the previous high from 2 days ago, that's got a good look to it. mRNA is still a bear flag at this point, right? Like it held the low from Monday, I believe, but we're still in kind of a bear flag life. If it loses this, I would say 375, we're going to be in a good spot to kind of roll this thing over. BNTX, same thing, 275. Set some alerts at those levels. If we come in, we're going to come in hot on these things. I think they're at, I mean, these things are bloated piggies anyways. You know, at this point, probably a drift down to the 200. We can keep shorting these things until they come back into support. Yeah, look at, I mean, this thing used to be like 25 bucks, right? So now you got a kind of a larger term, and it looked like it was going to break out a few days ago. Fuck, right? You know, sometimes, sometimes it's not. Now the picture's looking a lot more clear, but you look at all this airspace underneath, right? So you can keep kind of hitting this thing. You know, maybe don't tank today, but it's looking like, you know, even if it had like 1 or 2 rest days, it's looking like you're going to get one of those big, like 30, 40 point down days. You know, even a couple days ago, like they've been coming out saying like, hey, you know, booster shots are okay, booster shots are not okay. And even that's not really saving them. I think these are both bleeders. Yeah. And then on the long side, I think QS is still looking pretty good. I mean, you're at like a really good spot here. I think QS and Lucid are really the two. They're almost similar charts. So QS had that $25 breakout. Now you're pulling back into the support and you're rounding there. Like you're right, you're rounding at that 25. That's a good spot. Like we can base a trade off of that. If it starts to hold, I like the overall look of that. I don't think we really need anything else. Like, I mean, we got all our kind of usuals, but you know, we could even add AMD if it loses, right? This kind of 100. That 100's been support. But if the market rolls, you know, we can take that too. I think that's it. You want to have a really light watch list right now. Really focus on liquidity and then run your scans like probably about 15, 20 minutes into the market, because it seems like there's a lot of stocks that are like coming out of nowhere. Like this Pult, it wasn't a gapper really yesterday, right? Like into the first 15, 20 minutes, it just started coming out. So, you know, sometimes what you got to do is run, right, a percentage gainer scan or some type of movement scan, or even a volume. You can put a volume parameter or volume scan on and run it like 15 minutes into the market. You'll start to see a couple things pop up that maybe you didn't have on your radar. It's a little bit tricky to do because usually the first 15 minutes you're knee deep in all these stocks, but you're going to have to do it because otherwise you'll miss out on some of these. I was being lazy as fuck yesterday and I didn't run them. And then we missed out on some of these easy ones. Hey, Cornfed, what's going on, baby? John, man, you're looking lean. What's going on over there? Divorce life, huh? Yeah, that could work. Not my particular type of play, but it looks okay. Yeah, that's the list. I'm sticking to it. What are we missing, guys? What are we missing? You know, Spaceballs, we got King and Max, right? BBY, yes. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, I think you know, there's some kind of these speculative ones that are like been popping around that you could potentially play, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like the right time to do these kind of things. Yeah, this PLTR is a turd. I don't know. You can't catch a bounce for shit. Maramo, Chuck. Yeah, I'd stay away from all these. Like this is like, okay, if the market runs, again, like this Doxin, like if it remounts over the 9, probably could go. But like these things are so extended. Like, you know, any kind of small pullback in the market's really taking them down. I think we just stay with the liquid ones and the ones we make money on. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. All right, let's do this, folks. Let's be good. Let me see. BTBT. Turd. Cam, turd. All these Bitcoin stocks are all bullshit. I can't short DATs either because it's just too damn thin. It's too much stress for me. I'm old. Leave me alone. You could, but leave me alone. Yeah, if you got a lower high, you can start taking them down. I'm too old for that type of shit. I used to love doing those because you know when they roll over, like I mean, you can get such a home run. You can get such a home run, but the fucking stress. Cool. Let's go have some fun. Let's try to make a short day out of it. I think we overstayed. What did we stay till 1 yesterday? About an hour more than I want to. Let's do this. You gotta be good. You gotta be good.